live one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie KWard coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie KWard. As always, I anticipate coming on the show, seeing each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Myself, Chef D, Dr. G, and always our special guests. We look forward to this each and every month. Well, I'm gonna say I do. You know, I got to start getting Dr. G her checks and Chef D, their checks, and, shame on me, right? So I'm so excited about this conversation. So please go ahead and start sharing the video, share the live, and all that jazz. So are you ready to start Artist Talk? Well, let's go ahead and kick off the show right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie KWard.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Thank you to my bestie, the owner B, and my very good friend and brother, Mr. Sean LaBelle, for the music. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you had a great weekend. You know, the weekend always seems to go by so fast, but in the meantime, don't forget to go over to KWardRadio.com. That's my website. Make sure you subscribe, check that out. And if you don't, as we say on the show, shame on you. So what I want to do, I want to bring in my lovely co-host each and every Monday right here, the lovely, the gifted, the talented, the incomparable Dr. Chantel Gray.
Ooh, I said, who that? That she sounds nice. I like her.
What's up, Dr.?
I need her. She sounds good. How's it going, Jazzie? It's been a week. Like, I feel like that's just been too long. It's too long.
I know.
So
how was your week?
Well, my weekend is always too short. I did good stuff this weekend, though. I actually did a food drive for the church. We packed 2,885 bags of food to distribute to the local community. So I did that on Saturday. So I be trying to give back a little something. And I went to church on Sunday because, the Lord knows, knows if I don't go to church and get me some Jesus, I'm not going to make it to the week. Because if he handle it, it's going to be good. If I handle it, I'm going to jail.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
Are you excited about, are you a big Halloween person?
No, I see scary witches all the time. See him
I
at
was
work, build it. See, I mean, I do. Listen, people don't like it. I know it's a controversy. I love candy corns. I know everybody don't like candy corn. Ain't what call it sugar, but I still listen. I don't eat them throughout the year, but Halloween, I'm gonna get me a good candy corn. Sorry, I'm gonna give me some candy corn.
ooh. Now I'm trying to say what is my favorite? What's the candy you eat? I don't know if it's like a butterscotch and it's kind of crunchy. Not butterscotch, but it's
Peanut
caramel.
brittle,
It's like a cracker.
like peanut cracker.
Mhm.
Oh, no, yeah, that's old people candy. I shouldn't say that, but it is. That's like when you dig in the bottom of that church purse and that candy been sticking to the bottom, but you still gotta unravel it and try to take the little lint off and eat it. But
Right,
yeah, guys, no, I don't eat it.
right. Candy corn.
Don't.
Wow. I love it. But Dr. G, it's always such a pleasure to see you. I'm super excited about our guest tonight, Trevor P., who's coming up next. And we can't wait to have Mind, Body, and Soul with you a little bit later.
I guess I can do the segment too.
Well, how about can you stick around and we'll be right back with you, okay?
Okay, I'll be here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. G.
Yeah.
It's always great to talk to Dr. J. And it's even more special tonight, everyone, to talk to our special guest, Trevor P. and Arthur Joy Minor. So here's a little snippet video right here on Artist Talk.
Producer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, singer, and rapper, Trevor P. and author Joy Minor will provide candid conversations about their latest projects, their respective journeys, and more tonight on Artist Talk with Jazzie KWard.
Yes, our first guest is Trevor P., who hails from Topeka, Kansas. Is that where Dorothy was? Is it no? Is it No Place Like Home? No Place Like Home. I think that's that's No Place Like Home. So he started writing music at the age of 14. He earned the title multi-instrumentalist by being a self-taught musician. He started with the piano and the keyboard at the age of 17, and he also learned how to play drums, some percussion instruments, and the bass. Now, some of he credits musicians and artists such as Tupac, Brian Coperson, Nas, George Benson, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis, and the list goes on. And you'll understand tonight after this candid conversation why Trevor P. has that it factor. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome to Artist Talk, multi-instrumentalist. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a producer, Trevor P.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my brother.
All right. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Artist Talk.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. So it's so good to see you, my brother. And I think as we were talking in the green room, right? I was saying we always talk on social media, but this is our first virtual meeting.
Absolutely.
Good. And it's such a pleasure. And again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to come and have a conversation with me.
Oh, most definitely, man. I've been looking forward to this actually, man. So, I mean, I'm always tuned in actually, man. So, you know, I reached out. I was like, hey, how can I get an Artist Talk, man? You know, and you got me in here. So shout out to you, brother.
Again, I appreciate you so much. I see people coming in the room. We got Friday Night Live with Cat Carter. If you don't know Cat Carter, shame on you. What's up, my brother Kenneth Wynn, Unique Carper, and
that's my sister right there. She lives in Orlando, Florida.
Hey, Unique. Good to see you. Thank you all so much. And make sure you put in the comment section where you're watching from. If you have questions for our guest, make sure you post them there too. So I'm just so Trevor, I kind of start the show off with the real you. Just some questions I randomly picked so the audience can get to know you kind of outside of your professional music career, okay?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the most common thing your friend and your family will say about you?
I think they'll say that I'm a class clown. I'm goofy. I'm hyper. I'm silly. My head's always bouncing off the wall, man. I'm pretty hyper, man. So it.
I like that. I like that. Tell me the most interesting thing that you have ever done.
Ooh, that's a good question. The interesting thing that I have ever done. Dang, that's a man. That question got me at a brain fart, man. I can't say that on air, but
Oh, we're gonna keep it PG.
yeah. Interesting thing that I've done. Here's one right here. So it may sound interesting to others, but it's kind of who I am as a person. So on top of doing music, I also work in the medical field. So 4 years ago, I volunteered my services to work at a medical kids camp for a week, and I promise you, it was like life changing, man. Like when you see like young children that are going through so much and so many obstacles that they're going through, it puts things in perspective. Like, days may be rough for us, but there's people out there that have it worse than us. So we just have to accept our blessings one day at a time.
That's true. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Tell me this. What would you rather be, rich or famous, and why?
Let's see. For me personally, I'll say rich. And I say this because my richness will go towards doing better good for other people, Like, so, there's a lot of people, that have a lot of money, they're rich, but, I mean, it's their money. They can do what they want. But personally, like, I would use it to build like homeless shelters and, help the people, So
I appreciate that. That's good.
I would go with rich.
We're rich. Hey,
Yes,
nothing
sir.
wrong with rich. I love it. So thank you so much, Trevor, for answering those questions on the real you. That wasn't too bad, was it?
Oh, no, all's good, brother. All's good.
Oh, good. So, we're getting back to the show, and I see more people. Hey, my friend Colleen and Kenneth, so good to see each and every one of you tonight. Again, our special guest is rap. He's a singer. He's a songwriter. He's a producer, and his name is Trevor P. And if you don't know this brother, shame on you. Okay, shame on you. So, Trevor, just kicking off the show, I still go back because I feel we still kind of pandemic. What was life for you during that pandemic time? Especially
so life for me during the pandemic was like, honestly, when the pandemic first started, I wasn't even working on music at all. Like, I was working medical, so like, things were crazy working in the medical field. At the time, let's see, my best friend was actually on his deathbed at the hospice house when I went to go see him, and he told me that I should get back into music because prior to this wave of music that I've been putting out, I didn't touch an instrument. I didn't play no type of music for over 10 years. So it was actually a friend on his deathbed who inspired me to get back into working on music. So like during COVID, if I wasn't working at the hospital, I was working on music and trying to get back in my groove and everything. So that's what COVID was like for me during the pandemic.
I think just in me not being a musician and just, being a radio personality, I just thought about that during that time, Trevor, is that I can only imagine you working in that, the medical field, period, is a job within itself. But, especially during that time, music is so healing and we need more of music. And we thank you, my brother, for providing us with great music. So what did you do to take care of your mental health during that time?
Music. Um, yeah, mainly music because like so. Yeah, my best friend, he had cystic fibrosis, so you know that affects your lung, and he needed a lung transplant, and he wasn't able to get that, so he passed away like at the age of, I want to say he was 33 years old. So I was going through some rough times, you know, but like when I go through rough times, that's when I get back to doing the things that I love doing, like music, of course. So that's how I dealt with my mental during the time, was making a lot of music, getting back in a groove, doing a lot of writing and such, and, and connecting with other fellow musicians because so yeah, that's what I was doing during that time, and that's how I got through my mental, just connecting with other new musicians and working on music.
Working on music. And so when I think about music, I'm just going to go back to your childhood. Did you, growing up in your younger days, did you grow up with a lot of music in your home?
So I would say, like in my immediate household, there wasn't no one that was particularly a musician, but my mom, like, so rest in peace, my mom. She passed away last year, unfortunately, but she was always listening to music, and I don't know if you're kind of the same way, but whatever music your parents listened to, you kind of gravitated to it. And so my mom was listening to a lot of, she loved funk music. She was listening to a lot of funk, soul, R&B. And then my dad, being from the South, you know, he's kind of listening to the same thing. But, you know, black people in the South, man, they love their country music too, man, their blues and their country. So I was kind of listening to that too. So, you know.
I love that. I love that. You know what? I can say, growing up in my house, it was just like just a variety of music, right? And I've said this before on the show. I heard so much George Benson, Lou Rawls, Nancy Wilson, the Isley Brothers, that I think
Oh,
as a
yeah.
child, I didn't have no choice but to like them.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So for you, tell us how your musical journey started for you, Trevor P.
Okay, so it started when I was pretty young, man. I actually started off as a rapper, and I was writing music and stuff. And I want to say when I was about 15 or something, 15, 16 years old, I recorded like my first rap album with like some other friends or whatever. And honestly, like, and then I learned how to play a little piano around the time. But honestly, like, during my younger days, I was strictly a rapper. But I'm so influenced by everything. So, like, just to give you an idea of where my head was at as a teenager. So, you know, like Saturday night going to house parties, getting turned up or whatever on a Saturday night. But then Sunday morning, man, I was tuned into the radio station in Kansas City, listening to they played a lot of gospel music. But then how I got into like jazz music, honestly, was they would play this mid morning thing called the Sunday Jazz Brunch or whatever. And so I would listen to a lot of Brian Culverson and the Rippingtons and Foreplay and R.I.P. Wayman Tisdale. And so, like, I realized at some point, I was like, man, I love jazz equally as much as I love doing hip hop. So it took me a while to get to it, but, you know, I try to mix a gumbo of things. And for me, it just depends on the vibes and how I'm feeling that day. But lately, man, I've been gravitated towards a lot of R&B and smooth jazz lately because that's just the vibe and direction that I am in my personal life. So my personal life comes out in my music. So
Okay. Hey, so Trevor, I'm gonna put you on the spot right here. So do you remember your very first rap that you wrote? And if you do, can you rap it right here on the show?
Let me see. Oh, man. I don't know if I could remember it, man. All I know is like when I first started writing, I wasn't even writing from an emotional spot, man. Like I was writing because I don't know, man. I eventually became a battle rapper, so I was always writing like I was influenced a little bit by like Eminem and like some lyrics like lyricists like true lyricists like Nas or Common or some stuff like Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, stuff like that. But I don't know if I could recite or remember my first rhyme that I wrote, man. That was so long ago, man.
Can you give us any kind of rhyme? Anything you can remember? Maybe like a verse or something?
Let me see. I mean, I could freestyle, but let me see.
You can
Let
freestyle.
me let me think, man. Dang, man. Yeah, you are putting me on the spot right
I didn't mean to
now.
put you on the spot. If you could think of something before we go up, that's I do that from time to time. And
Oh
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I really want to like, what's your creative process to how you decide to write a song? Because like I know you have a new single like Sunday Vibe is out.
Oh
So
yeah.
what's that process like when you start writing a song?
The process is I don't have a process, man. I
Oh,
just wing it and go with the flow. To be honest, with everything that I do, whether it's laying down some vocals or playing the bass or the piano or whatever, I just wing it. To be honest, man, I don't really have a natural process of how I do things or whatever. But
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I love it. And also, I want to say congratulations to you because I know you were a finalist in the World Songwriting Awards for your song My Piece for 2023.
Oh yes, thank you very much, man. I was surprised when I got the email back saying that I was a finalist. To be honest, because I literally forgot that I even submitted the song in the first place, man. Like so.
Wow. I mean, what a beautiful song. But what I want to do now is I want you all to check out another song for Trevor P. And before we go into that, Trevor, let people know how they can find you on social media.
Okay, on social media, you could find me on Facebook, Trevor Lamont Fulton Pleasant. On Instagram, you can find me Trevor P 33rd. And my favorite one that I don't know, it's kind of childish, but I get a lot of love on there on TikTok, Trevor P 33rd.
Trevor
So,
P. Hey, I love TikTok, y'all. So hey, y'all, let's check out this song, and we're gonna talk a little bit about it when we come back right here on Artist Talk. Hey, everybody, welcome back. That was Get Away. So nice. Tell us about that song.
all right, so that song "Get Away." So that was off of my album called Mystery of Life. The thing with Getaway was, it was just a song basically saying, get away of the stresses of life, take some time to yourself, get some self reflection, some self meditation or whatever. And so that's how I came up with that song. The video was directed by Terrence Thompson. and his wife was the beautiful actress in the video. I know you're familiar with both of them, so yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, tell me who are some other artists that you also work with? I know we have another mutual friend that you also work with, Michael Garvin. How did you all work together?
So actually, that song is not all the way done yet, but what we have so far of it is freaking fire, man. That's all you need to know about that. I played the bass on the song and some other percussions. You know, he's so talented, man. He's like one of my mentors, honestly, man. Like him and Heidi Tan, like they're so dope. But so he said he wanted to work with me, and I was like, wait, someone in his stature wants to work with me, man? That's kind of crazy. But so the song's not all the way complete, but I promise you, it'll get done. But it's coming out really good, actually. So
Well, please, I can't wait to hear it. And you know, I want to be one of the first you share it with, or at least on the list. I want to be one of those first that you share with.
oh, definitely, definitely.
So, what's the best advice you've been given, say from another musician, if you can share that they've told you about this business?
Hey, you want to know what? So J.C. Smith, he reached out to me one time. We were talking. It was so when I put out Sunday Vibe, you know, I send it to like some other musicians, and I kind of get a feel of what they think about it. And you know, he told me that don't worry so much about what other people think. If you feel good about it, put it out. You know, so I thought that was some really good advice.
Oh, that's some great, because you know this is a tough business, Trevor.
Yeah.
And I always say, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you keep pursuing this dream? Because you find so many people in the music industry that tell you don't go in the industry. So
You know, it's purely music, honestly, man. Like the gratification that I get from creating is such a wonderful thing, man. Like there's nothing like, you know, being able to, you know, come up with pieces of a song piece by piece, and then the final project comes out like, wow, did I really just create that, man? Like it's a beautiful thing, man. I think the whole creative process is what keeps me going, and the actual craft and the musicianship of it is what keeps me going. You know, I don't necessarily get so much into the business side of it, which I haven't yet, but I have a feeling that that might be more prevalent to me coming soon. So, you know, we'll just see where that unfolds.
right, I think, my brother, that is definitely important to know the business aspect side of this business, because you find so many artists that a lot of them don't know the business side of it. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of support. So let me ask you this. Can you let people know where can they download your music or stream your music?
All social media platforms is where you can find my music. I have an album out right now, Trevor vs. Lamont. That album's the one that featured the award finalist song, My Piece. So that album, honestly, like it's kind of like a combination of like smooth jazz and jazz fusion, a little bit of R&B. So yeah, you can go to all music streaming platforms, check that out. My single Sunday Vibe, getting a lot of play on radio stations right now, like a real smooth jazz type, beautiful sound, and that song's out right now actually too. So.
Okay. Well, my brother, we definitely want to continue to support you, and everybody who watches the replay of this video, please support Trevor P. He's all over social media. Type Trevor P. You should be able to find him. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Instagram. And you can also find him on TikTok. And so, my brother, it has been such an honor and a privilege to have a conversation. Would you come back on Artist Talk again?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you so much, my brother. If you we'll be more than happy if you can stick around in the green room for the show. But if you can't, we understand. I will definitely be in contact with you. And as always, I do play your music on 90.7 FM WVAS.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Blessings, my guy.
Thank you so much, Trevor Pete. Ladies and gentlemen, that was rapper, singer, songwriter. This brother has that it factor. His name is Trevor P. His latest single is called A Sunday Vibe. So you make sure you check him out. We're going to take a short break and we're going to come back with the incomparable, my dear sister, the one and only, the queen, author, Joy Minor. You don't want to miss that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jazzie KWard and you are watching Artist Talk. And after that, we're going to have Mind, Body, and Soul with Dr. Chantel Graham.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Rena Chanel, singer, songwriter, and international recording artist. Have you watched Artist Talk with Jazzie KWard? Well, join him every Monday on Facebook Live and YouTube at 7 p.m. CST. And if you don't, shame on you. Love you guys. Mwah.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Once again, I was about to start rapping. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to rap. No, later on.
What's up, Dr. G?
I was about to start rapping. I was going to go back to the old school. But see, people talk about rap. I go back to, I guess I'll be telling my age, because I go back to hip hop, the hibbit, but I don't want to go back there. Let it go. So Jazzie, today, you know what? We always talk about diseases and how it affects your body and what to do to get better and all that other good stuff. But what we don't talk about is the body as a whole, as a system of how it works. So today we're going to talk about the lymphatic system. What does all that mean? The lymphatic system is just the collection of nerves, tissue, and organs. And what it does is helps to move white blood cells throughout the body to fight off infection. So we don't talk about that. So you got to think about it. You have the type of organs that's involved with that. You have your tonsils. So when they tell you, oh, take your tonsils out, you can live without them. You can, but your body will not fight off infection as well without the tonsils or your spleen, okay? So now, one of the things you can do and find out how you know your lymphatic system is clogged, a couple of things. You're going to be tired a lot. You're going to have a lack of sleep. You're going to have stress, dehydration, emotional trauma. That will clog that lymphatic system. So we as people got to think about it. If you live a stagnant life, and for all those of you who work from home and don't get up to move, you got to move a bit, okay? So signs and symptoms of your lymphatic system being clogged are going to include you always tired, mental fog, aching muscles. If you are a female and you have a cycle and you get a lot of bad cramps, that's a sign that your lymphatic system is clogged. You can get dizziness, headaches, migraines, all because your lymphatic system is clogged. But don't worry, I got a couple of things you can do to unclog that stuff naturally. No secret medicine, no secret weapon. 5 simple things. The first thing you're going to do is move and walk around. If you work from home, set your watch to every hour. Get up, walk around, stretch, move, do something with yourself, okay? 2, which is very simple. We talked about this before, dry brushing your skin. You want to brush towards those lymph nodes. You have lymph nodes in your neck and your axillary issues with your underarms. Hopefully you guys, make sure you kind of wash underneath there. You have them in your inguinal area. What is the right hip joints? Okay. You have them at your knees. So when you do dry brushing, you want to brush down towards the lymphatic system. Bring it from your arms up to your armpits. You want to kind of pull up from your legs up to the hips. Get rid of that stuff. That's going to help you drain your body. The lymphatic system is great, but it can't help it. You got to kind of help it make it go. Okay. The next thing is diet. Everything starts in the gut, healthy gut. Another good simple thing, taking a deep breath, Jazzie. Let me see, take a deep breath in. See, that's the problem. The first thing we do is do everything with the chest. Say it with your chest. Don't say it with your chest, okay? A true deep breath starts in your belly. Your chest should stay normal. If you get deep, your belly should expand out. Taking 4 nice deep breaths every hour, that will actually help your lymphatic system get going, okay? So taking that deep breath, make sure that stomach gets pushed out. Your chest shouldn't do this. Nothing to do with you breathe. Your lungs push down and push that stomach out. Take them deep breaths. And fasting is back to that diet. Dark green vegetables, garlic, citrus fruits, things like will help you squeeze that stuff. Also, one trick too. If you don't sweat a lot, I know it's not a big deal. People like to put on a nice deodorant. When you put on deodorant, it should be an aluminum-free deodorant. The reason why, when you put them under your arms, it blocks your pores. You can't sweat. You can't squeeze stuff. So aluminum-free deodorant. So those 5 things: exercise, deep breaths in, but don't be lazy. I don't want to hear about I work from home. No, get up, walk, deep breaths, dry brushing. Dry brushing is going to do so much for your skin, all dead cells. And remember, we had this discussion before. Dust in your house is 90% dead skin cells. Clean that skin off. And take a nice hot shower. Leave those pores open and eat better. No, we can't eat better all the time, but do better. Stop the salt and the processed food. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice is a good saying. Dark greens, dark fruit, citrus fruits, dark is going to help you get all that bad stuff out your body. So that's my tip of the day.
I love that. And you know what that goes right into, Dr. G? Nia the Germinator, your book.
She fights those germ brothers, those 4 germ brothers. Keep those germs away. The lymphatic system in Nia says, listen, white blood cells is going to keep you healthy. It's going to fight off infection. Kill those germ brothers. Do it in a natural way. Y'all sure y'all don't want me to rap? I'm listen. My mic sound nice. No, just play.
And let people know how they can get your book, Nia the Germinator.
You can go to the website, niathegerminator.com. You get your autographed copy. Go to also Amazon, Goodreads, Barnes & Nobles. We are everywhere. And if my publisher stops dragging their feet, we can get the second book out. All you independent artists know what I'm going through. The struggle is real. It really is real.
Well, Dr. G, I think you are going to love our next guest. She's also an author. She's a motivator. She has that it factor. Her name is Joy.
You said that. I was like, he want to introduce me again like that? I was going to give you some snaps. I said, oh, see, vanity. He wouldn't even talk about me, but that's all right. I'm a welcome anyway.
So she has a new book out, y'all, called If Walls Could. I'm so excited and anticipating to talk about this new book. And can you stick around, Dr. G?
I am. But people, listen, download the music from Trevor, buy from this young lady. Matter of fact, buy 2 copies. Buy the Audible and buy a book. You can turn the pages. Get that to somebody because reading is fundamental. I'm just saying.
That it is. That it is. Thank you so much, Dr. G. Stick around for us, okay?
You know I will.
Thank you so much. Hey everybody, that's Dr. G. Make sure you check out Dr. G and follow Dr. G. So our next guest, this is my friend, this is my sister, this is Author Joy Minor. She's a mother of 2, a full-time authorpreneur. And for a decade, Joy has sustained herself and her family as an editor. She's a freelance columnist, a ghostwriter, a graphic designer, a performance, a poet, a storyteller. When she talks about sexual assault, domestic violence, LGBT rights activist, she's a workshop facilitator. Can you see why she has that it factor? So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome back to Artist Talk, Ms. Joy Minor.
Hey there.
Hey, my friend Joy. Don't you look good in pink?
Thank you. This is my pink era. My birthday's coming up, so I said coming into my 42nd, this is going to be my pink era. I'm going to be a girl now.
I love it, Joy. How was your day today?
It was long, but I managed to take a nap. And I don't know if you saw me floundering around in the green room, but I was trying to get my computer up and it just said no.
That's okay. Again, Joy, thank you so much for coming back on Artist Talk. I know you were, it might have been a year ago or a couple years ago. You were on the show, and you also have a new book out. I really want to know about this title. I'm just anticipating. A lot of people say, "Ooh, I want to know what this title is all about." This book, y'all. I said, "Well, how I'm gonna answer when she comes." Somebody said they remember you at the Village Gallery in the evening.
That was forever ago. I miss home so much. I do. The poetry scene at home, I miss it so much.
Do you do that often still?
I'm kind of forced into it, not willingly, but now I teach creative writing, so I end up writing poetry to, present to my workshops and my classes. So I'm gonna be a poet from now on, I guess.
Okay, I want to get into that. I also want to get into some other great news that happened with you and the mayor in Birmingham, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the new book, but I do want to get into some of these questions I have for you on the real that I want to ask you some questions so people can get to know Joy kind of outside of her professional realm. But don't forget to go over to joyminer.com. That's the website. You can go check out Joy's website, go get a book, share a book, download a book, get 2 or 3 books of Joy.
Well, I've got 55 of them, so they can pick.
55 books, y'all. You need to go get some books. Okay. So Joy, my first question is, tell me something that changed you.
Ooh. Okay. You were talking about COVID with Trevor P. When COVID hit Birmingham in 2020, it hit on the 15th of March. On the 18th of March, my brain decided to explode. I had an aneurysm rupture. So I had to have emergency neurosurgery, and it's during COVID. So I was only allowed to be in the hospital just long enough for me to shuffle my feet. Like I couldn't even really stand up on my own. And I had to rehab myself because all the rehab centers were closed. So walking, talking, memory, all of that I had to teach myself.
Look at God. Wow. And I remember, Joy, when you were going through that. I was praying for you, and I just could only well, I can't imagine you having to do an ordeal like this, especially you have 2 beautiful children, and just tell us, like, that's a testimony. That's a book within itself, right there.
It is. The thing that I tell everybody that's just so fascinating to me is the way you treat your children will manifest in the way they treat and take care of you. My oldest, they knew me well enough to my oldest knew my mom is screaming. I watched her give birth. She didn't scream when she had my sister. She's screaming something's wrong, and she took me to the hospital. When they came home, like they helped me get dressed. I couldn't get dressed. They helped me walk. They helped me bathe. And they were just making sure I was okay. I had friends that did it while they were at my mom's until I could at least walk down the hallway. But they really took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself.
Oh, what a blessing. So my next question is, like, what's on your gratitude list?
Life. That's one. That even as a single mom, both of my children are in academics magnet schools. They're artists, they're individuals, and I'm able to take care of them with what I love. Being able to sustain, other jobs are just part-time, but I sustain myself on what I love to do. Grateful to have family and friends that are real family and friends, that encourage you and support you and always have your back. You don't have to talk to them every day. Like you said, I haven't been on here in 2 years, but if I was to call you or text you, I know you're there.
Right.
And the same here, that's something to be grateful for. But most importantly, just life.
It's just life. That's right.
Just life.
Yeah, I think with everything going on, even from the pandemic to everything, in the world. And I think it's so important. I love to read, but I want to take more time. Like Joy, I have so many of your books. And then a lot of times when I travel, I'm gonna tell you a real quick story. I was up the other night, and that's a lot of times I need to go to bed. So I purchased your new book. I purchased the book and didn't realize that it's an ebook, and it said, "Oh, I have to have a Kindle," and I was like, "I don't have a Kindle," but somebody told me, said, "Oh, you can still get the app, and I can still be able to read the book."
Yes, sir.
So I have an iPad, but I said, well, maybe I can still read it on my iPad. But I am so happy for you, looking forward to reading that book. And before I go into something else, my last question on that Real You segment is, what's your favorite song to dance to and why?
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, my favorite song to dance to. Okay, I love New Orleans Bounce.
Oh.
So Walking Like a Dog is one of my favorites. Most recently, and don't judge me because I'm from Montgomery, but Bongos by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. I cook dinner to that one. I twerk all the way through my kitchen while I'm making my baby something to eat.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that song too. That's one of my workout songs.
Yes.
That's one of my workout songs. So I love that. So thank you, Joy, for answering those questions for the Real You. And Dr. G said you are a walking testimony.
Thank you. Thank you. That was my third near-death experience. So at this point, I'm kind of accepting that I'm supposed to be here.
You are supposed to be here. And I wanted to say this. Congratulations to you on receiving your proclamation from the city of Birmingham, Alabama, Joy.
Thank you. I still look at it and say, holy crud.
Like, where were you when you Do you remember where you were when you found out the news that you were going to receive the proclamation?
Actually, I was walking. So Dr. G, I do that every day. Actually, I get off and I work at a hotel part-time. So for me to even be willing to walk afterwards said something, but I walk around my neighborhood just to clear my head. And I was walking and a friend of mine had posted on her wall, Joy Minor won this competition. Why has nobody recognized her? Because I won it a year ago. And the mayor's public relations person, Marie Sutton, she was like, tell her to get in touch with me. And my publicist hit me up and said, here's Marie's number. And I sent her a text message and she called me right then. And she said, okay, the mayor wants to give you a proclamation. Okay. And I'm walking around my neighborhood like, wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay. Okay.
What was that moment like for you? What were you feeling?
It was weird, honestly, because I do what I love. And I tell people all the time, I feel like I cheat in competitions because I do this for survival. I do it for my mental health. I do it to feed my children. I do it to pay my bills. And some people, it's just a dream and a hobby. But for me, like, I have to. So when I was getting recognized for it, and people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I'm like, I'm getting recognized for something I would do if didn't nobody read a single book of mine. But, you know, at the same time, I want to do a backflip because the mayor's going to give me a proclamation.
That's such an honor. Congratulations, Joy. That is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
I have another concept. Now you're teaching. Tell us about your teaching job.
Okay. Something else I swore I was never going to do. I teach creative writing through In Total Creative Arts Forum. So I do creative writing in about 4 different facilities here in Birmingham. And then through one of those facilities, I was working with the Center for Education, the Community Education and Resource Center, CERC.
Okay.
And the guy who was over it at the time said, I've got you on a short list. I said, short list for what? He said, I got you on a short list to teach for the Alabama Prison Arts and Education Program.
Wow.
And I looked at him and said, great, I don't have no degree. I have a GED. I'm a high school and college dropout. Like, I'm going, and this is through Auburn University. So I was like, Auburn going to pay me to teach? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, well, where am I teaching? Tutwiler Women's Prison.
Wow.
So every Thursday for 14 weeks, I go down there and I teach these women creative writing. And it is, when I say all the facilities I teach at, it's the most rewarding thing in the world to give somebody a voice that doesn't feel like they have one. You know, I work with displaced people. I work with people that are recovering from mental illness. And now I work with, you know, residents at a prison. And it's just, they were, you know, I went through the training and some of the people were saying, well, we're going to redeem them. And I got angry because I was like, no, you can't go in there with that mindset that you're going to save them.
Right.
But every time I go into any of my classes, I'm redeemed. They show me a different side of myself. They save me every time. So it's something that I absolutely love doing. And I hate it. It's only going to last for so long with Tutwiler, but I still have my other programs that I teach. And like I said, once a week or once a month. So some is once a month, some is once a week, but I teach it at these facilities.
That is such a blessing, Joy.
It is.
Be able. Did you ever imagine your life would be at this point in your career?
No. No. I've always had pens and notebooks. I was a little girl who wrote in the corners, marked all the errors, sent letters to the publishing companies where there were errors. I love to read and I love to write little stories, write little poems. I'm working on a memoir called My Children Ruined My Life because I was in college and I was going to be the second journalist to get shot in the line of duty. That was my plan. This is how, just so you know something about me, I'm not out there because who wants to go and get shot in the line of duty? But I got pregnant with my oldest daughter my freshman year. And when I say she ruined my life, because I was going to be that gay auntie. I didn't want children. I was going to be that gay auntie that traveled the world and wrote stories about the women that I encountered.
Right.
But I had my daughter and I became Joy Minor because she's Kadira Minor. I was on bed rest with her, couldn't get up to do anything. So I wrote my first book of poetry when I was pregnant with her. And it completely changed the trajectory of my life.
Wow. That's so profound. You know, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
I want to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What is the most difficult decision you've had to make to pursue your destiny?
Doing it anyway.
That's right.
Doing it anyway. You know, I was raised on get a 9-to-5 job. You get benefits, take care of your children. This is what you're supposed to do. And there are some days when my money is just not looking the way I want it to look. But not giving into that, giving up on your dream and diving back into the workforce, because I believe that when you're working for somebody else, you're building their dream. They're paying you pennies to build their dream when you could be using that time to build yours. So doing it even when I didn't have the publisher, when I didn't have the readership, when I didn't know what was going to happen from it, just doing it anyway and doing it because I genuinely love it. That's what paid off more than anything else.
I love it. I love it. So, you know, someone watching this, Joy, someone wanting to follow in your footsteps as a writer, what encouragement can you give them to continue to pursue that?
Right. Everybody asks me that question. That is my answer. And people think that I'm being a jerk when I say it. But when people say, I want to write a book, how do I do that? You sit down and write. You sit down and write. Even if it's just a page, even if it's just a paragraph, just sit down and do it. Because I think I have a spreadsheet that has 300 plus concepts on it. I have all these ideas. I have all these covers. But if I don't sit down and write the book, it's not going to be a book as long as it's up here. You got to write. And even when no one believes in you, I just told a resident this last Thursday, even if no one believes in you, if they think, because my mama told me when I was in college, I ain't gonna make no money writing. You know, now I'm like, ha. But just sit down and write. If it doesn't make sense, it's okay. Just start. Just start.
Okay. I love that. And so moving forward, this new book, If Walls Could Talk. Tell us, okay, you know, when you see a title of a book, If Walls Could Talk. So tell us why the title of the book and what is it about?
Okay. If Walls Could Talk is very literal, which is very interesting because I'm a poet, right? But I was talking to my best friend one day and I was fussing about something. It might have been something my children did or something my girlfriend did. I don't remember. But she was like, girl, if your walls could talk. No, I said that. I said, if these walls could talk, they had so many stories to tell. And she was like, that's a book. So we sat in Messenger sending ideas back and forth. And that was 3 years ago. And America's Next Great Author, she sent me the link for America's Next Great Author. She's an author as well, E. Bowser. Check her out. She writes awesome paranormal and urban fiction. But I said, well, what am I going to pitch at this competition? And she said, walls. Like she said it like there was no question. Like she knows all my book comes. She's like, walls? You're pitching walls. So we did the pitch video. She submitted hers. I submitted mine. I got the email on October 1st of last year saying, hey, you're a semifinalist in this competition. So I did the GoFundMe, went to Newark, New Jersey, worked on my pitch, got up in front of a room of, oh my gosh, cameras and NAACP and New York Times and USA Today bestsellers and pitched this book, If Walls Could Talk, won the competition. So thank you. So if I can share the pitch, because I haven't shared it with anybody, well, because the book is actually coming out October 31st, my birthday. But the pitch is, if walls could talk, child, the stories they tell. The walls of Madison Metroplex witness paint peeling antics from a doctor's affair with his wife's therapist to a therapist serial killing patient and even a euthanizing nurse. Meet Sweetie, the luxury high rise where home ain't always so sweet. Granny, the therapist's office where sanity and insanity are kissing cousins. Hot Boy, the Madison Hotel, witnessing everything from peep shows to seedy dealings and destiny. The Regional Medical Center, where you check in one day and you check in for an x-ray and you flatline the same day. My mama say 3 can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead, but she ain't account for talking walls, y'all. If Walls Could Talk, it's a mix of Eric Jerome Dickey's Friends and Lovers and Selena Montgomery's Hidden Sins with a little bit of Joy Minor spice blended in. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Because they are. So so in the book, there are 8 or 9 characters, but 4 of the characters are walls. So the walls are actually seeing things and giving you their perspective from what they're saying, but they have no hands. And my test readers have said, you made inanimate objects. I forget that they're walls. Other than the fact that they can't hug anybody or hit anybody or push anybody or lay down or sit down, you don't realize that they're walls. Like they're witnessing these things that these people are doing and telling their point of view on it.
Wow. I love that. I love that, Joy.
Thank you.
So how can we pre-order?
It's on Amazon.com. If you type in Joy Minor, it's going to be the first book that comes up because I am finishing the editing on it right now. And book 1 will be ready for upload. And I did make the cover. Like when I say I'm an entrepreneur, I do my own editing. I do my own cover design. I do my own writing. I do it all.
I love that cover.
Thank you.
I love that. So when people read your books, what's the vision? What do you want them to take away from any of your books that they choose to read?
That you're reading about your girlfriend or your next door neighbor. All of my tagline is my life is a Joy Minor novel. So everything that I write is based on somebody I met, somebody that I've seen, somebody I've encountered, because people just walk up to me and tell me their life story at the grocery store. So I have all these concepts because, oh, well, she told me she was growing tomatoes, but because her husband passed, and that's just how she deals with it, and that's her healing, and then she eats them and they make her feel closer to them. I can write a story about that.
That's right.
So I want you to see yourself. I want you to see people you know, because my characters are so relatable. They're just like anybody that you would meet on the bus, at the store, at work.
Wow. I love that. And again, Joy, let us know how to find you on social media. What's the best way to find you?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Joy Minor, JOIMINER, like coal miner, not minor key. And my website is joyminer.com. TikTok is Joy Minor Novels, but I don't really post on there much, especially, not TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever they've changed the name to. You know, I'm old school. You start changing names, I stop paying attention. But yeah, I'm about to start posting YouTubes. I'm going to try to get this audiobook done by the 31st. So this will be my first audiobook ever. So you'll be able to find me on Audibles as well. That's
amazing. And there was another comment earlier that said, Joy, you really do need to start a nonprofit.
I've thought about it. I have. And my friend and I, my business partner and I have talked about it. So we're about to branch into that. But I love doing the work with other nonprofits because they already have everything set up. And if I can just come in and do my work and make a difference and then come back out, because I'm a mama and an author, and yeah, I've got a lot going on. So starting a nonprofit, it's not hard to do, but it's hard to do, you know?
I love it. So I know you have a book coming out. You had the proclamation, you're teaching. Is there anything else that you're working on that you can share with us before we go?
Trying to get a trade publisher. I've been entering competitions because I didn't think that the traditional publishing was for me. But submitting to competitions and things like that, other than that, being a mama is my favorite thing. Even though it gives me a whole lot more gray hair than I want to have. Right. You know, they're my magnum opuses. There will be no book, there will be no award, there will be no anything that will amount to raising these people and watching them develop into their own individual selves.
I love that. I love that. Well, let me ask you this, Joy, before my last question. What's the best advice that you've been given about life?
Be obedient like the water.
Ooh. Explain that.
My friend Yogi and we don't get a whole lot of time together either. But because she's a solopreneur, I have her earrings on, but we went to the park and we were sitting at the gazebo, and I love water. Like, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a water sign. So water just gives me peace. And she said, look at that. Like, we have to be obedient like the water. And I said, break it down for you. So water, no matter what you put it in, no matter what form it takes, it's still water. It never loses this molecular makeup. If the wind blows, it goes the way the wind blows. You know, if it freezes, it becomes ice, it just slows down. You speed it up, it becomes steam. You pour it into a cup, it takes the shape of that cup. It can sustain life because there are things that live in it. We drink water, we're 75% water, or it can take life. You can drown in it, right? It can erode stone. It can cause paths or create paths in new ways. But water is always water is always water. It doesn't matter what form, what shape, what speed it's at. It's always water. So when you doubt yourself, don't. Just be obedient. When it doesn't make sense, don't. Just be obedient. Don't worry about it. Don't try and figure it out, because God, the universe, is figuring it out for you. And I have an issue with obedience. I say I'm universe's favorite problem child, because I want to control it and do it. No, it's going to go this way. And then universe is like, oh, no, it's not. Watch this. And I get knocked upside the head and still go in the direction that I was supposed to go in anyway. So I'm learning obedience. I'm learning obedience.
Okay. I need to learn a bit more of obedience too.
Be obedient like the water. Pour yourself a glass of water anytime you want to start fighting it.
Right. Yeah. Kenneth said, reminds me of Bruce Lee.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Be fluid like the water. Bruce Lee is one of my favorites.
Wow, I love that. Everybody, joyminer.com is the website. If walls could talk, let's make this a number one, y'all. Go pre-order the copy of the book now. Share it with your friends. I put it here in the link. Joy, my friend, it's always. Would you come back on the show again when I call?
Absolutely.
I love it. Anything you want to share with us before you go?
Y'all just do what makes you happy. You only have one life. We don't know when our expiration date is. We ain't supposed to know. But you don't want to live your entire life and say, I didn't do what made me happy in one moment of my life.
Right. Again, I love that. I think that's great words to end the show with, my friend Joy. Continue blessings to you.
Thank you.
You're continuing to do amazing things. And anything I can continue to do in my little small corner over here, I promise you.
You have done more than enough, sir.
I appreciate you, my friend. And we'll talk real soon, okay?
Okay, I love you.
Love you too, Joy. Hey, and again, happy birthday to Joy. She has a birthday coming up this month. Hey, y'all, let's take this book out. Let's buy the book for her birthday. Trevor P, our guest, his birthday is also tomorrow. Chef D, his birthday is on Saturday. You know, Chef D runs the show back here and everything, y'all. So again, thank you to all of my guests that was on the show. Trevor P, also author Joy Miner, who was on the show. Don't forget Dr. G, Dr. Chantel Graham. Let's bring Dr. G back into the mix here so we can say hey to Dr. G and thank her and thank each and every one of you also. Dr. G.
I don't know her, but I love her. Oh my goodness. Now,
Yes.
listen, y'all back here playing around. It takes 2 seconds. Y'all know how I feel about coming on because y'all didn't share my shit. Go follow these people on their web pages. Support them. It costs you nothing to share and support.
Nothing. Right. You know, when people have new stuff, I always try to tag it on my page. You can at least do that. If you're not going to buy a CD, if you're not going to buy the book, at least share it. Like Dr. G said, it costs nothing.
Has nothing to share. Hashtag share my shit. Don't make me cuss. I just left church yesterday. Make me cuss. Share my
That's true. That's true. And again, you know, me and Dr. G talk about this all the time. When we talk about buying a cup of Starbucks coffee, you probably gonna spend $8 on some coffee.
If you drink the whole cup, if you don't spill it, if it even made the way you want it, and then once you drink it and you excrete it, it's over. With music, you're gonna have it forever. When you got the book, you got it forever. Not only can you read the book, you can share it with someone else. Buy yourself a copy, buy them a copy. Listen, stop playing. It don't cost you much.
That's right. That's right. So Dr. G.
Walk out the house cost you $20. Just walk out the house cost you $20. You ain't do nothing. Just walk out the house. Buy the book. Download something. Just walk out the house. You lost $20. Didn't do nothing yet. Let's go, people. Share. Buy. Yep, that's right.
Don't forget, y'all, to go over and make sure you follow Dr. G too, all over social media. Dr. G, I hope you have a great rest of the week. Dr. G at the applife.info. And we look forward and seeing you next week. You never know who's going to be on Artist Talk. And we never know what kind of conversations we're going to hear from Dr. G.
Listen, anything can happen in New York City. Look at it. Yes, last week I fell and fractured my own face. Yes, my face is broken, but I'm still here. People don't get worried. It's okay. I can't cast it. I'm fine. Didn't miss a day. Didn't be.
I love it. But you be careful up there in the Big Apple in New York City, Dr. G.
Yes, Lord.
So, Dr. G, we'll see you next week, my friend.
And I'm going to be obedient like the water for the rest of the week.
Please be obedient. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, everybody, thank you, everybody, to all of our special guests. Thank you to each and every one of you. Don't forget to go over to KWardRadio.com, my website. Don't forget to go to KWard Radio on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Like the page, y'all. Please like the page. If you would like to support the show or send me your music, my information is listed there. If you would like to support Cash App, PayPal, I appreciate each and every one of you. Join me each and every Saturday on WVAS FM 90.7, the Alabama State University. Have a great rest of the week. Remember, make sure you take care of yourself and be kind to others. Good night.
Hi, this is saxophonist D. Lucas, and you have just watched Artist Talk with my man, Jazzie KWard. Hey, check him out every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on his Facebook Live or YouTube. And if you don't, shame on you.
Artist Talk. It's the Jazzie KWard coming at ya.